Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wilmac Wire, episode 4. We have a lot of exciting things to talk about today. We had an amazing event last week. We had an open house here where we actually got to showcase our new office space, which was really awesome. So I wanted to bring the person who made all that magic happen, her and her team. I am joined with Emily Miller. She is our Director of Marketing, a face that I am sure you recognize from any Will Mac information or pages that are out there. So I wanted to first introduce you, Emily, a little bit
Yeah,
about yourself, what brought you to Will Mac, your experience, and anything that you wanted to tell the people.
sure. Thanks for having me, Thomas. Like Thomas said, my name is Emily Miller. I'm the Director of Marketing at Wilmac, so I oversee our marketing team. I started here in July of 2021. Went to school locally at Roberts Wesleyan University. I'm originally from Buffalo. Went to school from 2016 to 2020, played basketball. COVID happened, things got shuffled around. Ended up working at Roberts in their athletic department from 2020 to 2021 as I finished my master's degree. From there, applied to tons and tons of jobs in both Buffalo and Rochester, and Wilmac was one of the only people to respond. So here I am.
It was a good response. It was a good
Yes, I was about
response.
to say I'm glad they responded. I really am. I'm very blessed to be here. But yeah, from there, I really started from scratch with the marketing program. Been able to build it up. I have two people under me now, a full-time marketing specialist and an intern. And we've been able to scale and increase Wilmac's brand awareness tremendously, which has been awesome and a really great thing to be a part of.
Awesome. Yeah. And, a little bit about your experience. You started, like you said, right from scratch. So
Mm-hmm.
you were basically just a marketing specialist,
Yep.
and then you actually were transitioned to a leadership role.
Right. Yeah. So good point. So I came in as the marketing support specialist, kind of seen as an extension of the sales team, there to help with presentations, social media, that sort of thing. And from there, as Steve acquired the company in November 2022, I got promoted into like a head of a department, even though the department was only me at that point. I still took it. I was happy with it. And from there, we've been able to scale more. I've been able to focus more of my team's efforts on social media, our website, event planning, advertising, community initiatives, all of that fun stuff. I wear a lot of hats, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, you definitely wear a lot of hats, and you were one of the first people that I was able to interact with when I was interviewing with Will Mack, which was really awesome. Like just I guess to use a new term, the vibe alone that you gave was
Yeah,
really cool, and it made me really excited to meet the rest of the team. And
awesome.
the rest of the team, that really coordinated an amazing event. Explain a little bit about them, like who
Sure.
they are, like what they bring to the table, and like the value that, especially since you have almost brought them in from pretty much internships into
Yeah,
full-time roles.
right. Yeah. So I have two people who work under me at this point, like I mentioned. Lada Kozacak is my marketing specialist. She works here full time. She's been here since September of 2023. And then Lauren Wolak, who's my current marketing intern for this spring semester. So to tell you a little bit about both, and like you alluded to, I restarted our internship program when I came back, or when I came to Wilmac, and started kind of with sales and business development.
Mm-hmm.
Not essentially my forte, so I transitioned my team more to a marketing intern function. So actually, last summer, Lada was my marketing intern. Absolutely incredible person, extremely kind, has a great backstory. Came from the Ukraine, learned English 2 3 years ago at RIT.
Great, amazing.
Yeah, did an MBA at NAS, and then I happened to catch her at the end of her MBA. So we worked in her internship. She was great, hardworking, would literally do anything for the company. And so it was a no-brainer to bring her on. So she's been a tremendous help. She's grown exponentially. Such a huge part of just the marketing team and that atmosphere, and making sure people feel welcome and well prepared, and really just putting in the time and effort every day. So really appreciate her and everything she does. I'm just looking at her through the opposite window. And then Lauren, I met both also from NAS. I recruit a lot from NAS. So Lauren, I met back in the fall. She reached out to me expressing interest in an internship. So I had a great conversation with her, really connected. She's super bubbly, friendly person. And I always say when you get into marketing, you have to be able to communicate. In any line of business, you have to be able to communicate.
Very important.
So she just made a really good first impression right off the bat. So from there, she's been my marketing intern since January. She wraps up in a few weeks, but plan to keep in touch with her, and always a position open here for her.
Both Lada and Lauren, they played such important roles. You just, explain a little bit about like what they did specifically to help you out to make such a successful event.
Definitely, yeah. Event planning's no joke. Probably not one of my favorite things to do because it's so extensive. There's so many details to think about, especially with the open house. It was one of our biggest event by far. At this point, we had over 100 people attend. So we were planning to accommodate that. We had people from Wilmac coming in from out of town, so making sure they were accommodated. So we started planning really far in advance, and I spoke with them, both of them, a bit yesterday about things they had learned from the event and from planning.
Awesome.
And Lada made a point. She was like, "We started planning really early, and I don't think it would have been as successful if we didn't start planning so far in advance. Like we were planning when we were in the temp space. That's how far back we had been planning." So Lada oversaw all of the food, all of the rental furniture, coordinating with vendors and that sort of thing. So she handled all of that. Also went to pick up pastries and stuff the day of. So was really on the ground floor coordinating that sort of thing. And then Lauren, again, did similar things in terms of coordinating the bartender and making sure we had drinks. And she also works at Irondequoit Country Club. So she has experience as a server. So when she came in, she was like, do you guys mind if I move things around to make it look a little bit nicer and more bougie? I was like, yeah, go for it. So she did an incredible job kind of placing everything and making sure people were happy, well fed, all of that sort of stuff. So I can't thank them both enough. I spoke to them, like I said yesterday, more about it, and they both really had the opportunity to like enjoy their time at the event too, not just stress about it like we had been. So we got to connect a lot and kind of have those informal conversations, which just made it all that much better.
Yeah. I mean, the best thing about any event planning is the after part where you realize it was a success.
Yes.
And yeah, it was really awesome. I'm fortunate enough I get to work with Lada and Lauren on the marketing side of things. They both help me out immensely. They know things that I don't know that I like. Yeah, very invaluable. And then on the day of the event, I saw both them running around, especially Lauren. She was making sure like tables were set up in like certain spots, like that. Very cool stuff. And the aesthetics of any event are very important. So it was really amazing, and we got a lot of feedback from both our employees, partners, customers who attended that thought the event was well executed, well planned. Which that's something that I would also like to talk to you about is that day when we had our open house, first off, we had some of our Wilmac employees in town that actually don't work here physically in the headquarters of Rochester. So Wilmac, we're customer oriented, customer first. So we have a lot of technicians and service providers out in the field that are there that can be on site for our customers. And I wanted to know, what were your thoughts on the importance of an event like an open house where we can bring everyone in?
It was great. I got to see quite a few people that I honestly hadn't met before, in person at least. Which was incredible. And those sorts of opportunities, whenever we have those types of events, we make sure to extend our invitation to all our employees who aren't in our HQ. And we understand that for some of them, it is not possible for them
it's a long journey.
It's a long journey. But it was so great to have so many of them in town, especially Christina and her service team. A ton of techs were able to come in. And just seeing them all together too, even if I wasn't physically involved in the conversation, just seeing them like smile, have a good time with each other in person, that sort of thing makes a big difference. And especially as a company where our primary core value is being a great place to work.
The best place to work.
Yeah, very
we won
recently,
that.
Yeah. That sort of thing, and seeing that camaraderie and that physical presence with one another, just and bonding opportunities. Like it makes a big difference. So we were really happy to have quite a few people travel in from out of town to celebrate with us.
Absolutely, and especially if you know, when I first started with WillMac, we were in a different office space, still here in Rochester. You know, we were founded in Rochester. Rochester's our home base. I don't think we're ever going to leave. But our first office space was an older building. You know, it was very long and people are separated, and you know, like I got to see you and Lada all the time because sales and marketing, we were in the same area, but I never really got to see like Christina and like the service team and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on like actually now being able to like work side by side with people like that, like in different departments within WillMac?
Right. It's awesome. Like you said, you literally had to venture to the back of the building to see other people that you didn't normally work with. So now with the kind of the open space concept, you can see there's glass all around us. It really eludes that transparency. You can hear calls going on. You can hear the service team talking with customers all day long, what accounting is doing, product development, what they're working on. Sales, I know what you guys are doing. But being able to just see everyone, and also not to sound eavesdroppy, but like just hearing conversations, learning more about what people are doing day to day, it just makes it more of a cohesive unit. And then you can have the opportunity to ask them questions. I can just shout across to someone and see what's up. But and that wasn't the case in the old building. And you can almost tell like like you said before, the vibe in the office is different now that we're all together, now that we can all have greater clarity into what we're doing and what role we play here.
Yeah, and it's you know, one team building, and then the collaboration you get. Like I'm fortunate enough now, you know, Pete, he works on our service team, and prior to us moving to this building, I never spoken to him. But now him and I, we hang out, and like him and I know what him and I are doing. Like he knows that like what side of stuff I'm on, what side of stuff he's on. I get to interact with him. We get constant feedback. It's amazing. And like that really leads to a more positive customer value for WillMac, because not only do you have the sales team, the marketing team, the people that, you know, are bringing in our customers, you also have now our service team, people that make our customers happy and that solve their problems. And now we have the ability to work as a collective unit in one space, which I think is one of the huge proponents of our new office space, is the collaboration that we have. Not only did we bring in our fellow employees that work remote, we also invited our customers, our partners, business leaders here in Rochester. So what was some of the feedback that you received?
All very positive. So locally, we obviously work with a lot of vendors, like our 401k, medical, that sort of stuff. But we also were able to invite groups like the Greater Rochester Enterprise, who's a few floors above us, the Chamber of Commerce, and really focus on kind of that community emphasis that we have, and pull that in more. So just to have them come in, see the space, see what we're about, and get to talk to other employees too, besides just me who's been communicating with them. I think that was really exciting for them, and just to see the hustle and bustle, like the fact that the event was so successful and so busy, that shows that we're a growing Rochester business, and we are. So that just physically represented it more, which was great. Beyond that, we did have a couple customers come in, a couple partners. We plan on holding more events like that in the future to encourage that sort of thing, because we have such an awesome space to show off now. But yeah, really, really positive feedback. I've said this before, but the physical location of an office, like you don't think it has that much of an impact, and then you have something like that, and you're like, dang, okay, yeah, that we have a space now where, like you said, we can collaborate.
Especially
we have
post-COVID as well, where
and
like
we can encourage that sort of thing.
Especially like COVID changed a lot of stuff, where like, you know, the importance of the office kind of lost. It was definitely downplayed, but I think a lot of us, especially like people like you and I, you know, we were just entering the workforce when COVID hit,
right?
Where we were like, I kind of want to be in an office.
Yeah. I like the face to face.
Like I like to hang out with people. Like I like to see what people are doing. So it's really cool that like we have a company initiative that is not promoting remote work, but that allows it. That especially like, you know, that's needed, especially for our field technicians, or like, you know, if any of us need to work from home or anything like that, like that's perfectly acceptable. But the fact that we actually all enjoy being physically in the office says a lot about Wilmac, and it says a lot about our office and what we promote here as our values. So it's really incredible, and then it was amazing to see our partners and our customers be able to see that.
Right.
And even since then, I have a couple people that they missed out on the event and they wanted to come check us out just because they wanted to see it and they think it's awesome here. And I think that's really important for a young company of like a company such as us, like having a relationship with like local organizations such as that, not even higher education, but even like, GRE and the Chamber Conference and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great question. And that reminds me, I have to shout out the local colleges and schools that came to the open house. RIT was here, U of R, Nazareth, Golisano Business Institute, all of them sent representatives to come check out the space because all of them have had students work here at some point or alumni working here now. So like I said, when we restarted that internship program, it was kind of starting from scratch. Not a lot of people knew about us. But we knew that we had some incredible local talent to pull from. Me being one of them. I, from Buffalo, came to Roberts and decided to stay here. So with that being said, like we knew that there were just incredible programs to pull from. So we started investing more in attending like career fairs and participating in those types of panel discussions and events to just get our name out there more and start creating those connections with students. And in all honesty, like that's how I've gotten some of my best interns and hires from just having conversations with these students and letting them know that there is a super cool technology business here. We're a developed, very established company, almost in a startup growth mode.
Yeah, we're in a very unique situation.
We're in a unique situation, exactly. So our story is extremely exciting, especially for younger kids, like you said, trying to get into a career and establish themselves. As a growing company, there's a lot of unknowns. So when we bring people in, they really have the opportunity to kind of forge a path for themselves, obviously with guidance. But also you get to work with everyone. I mean, when I came in, my first interview was with Steve, who's now the president of our company. Like that's not a typical
That's not typical
thing.
At all. That is not typical.
So those sorts of things and the relationships that we've been able to develop with local schools has been incredible. Like you said, too, with the Chamber of Commerce and GRE, both incredible local organizations that are really big proponents of economic growth within the region. So when we're able to partner with them and connect with them and put our name out there more and establish ourselves as one of those proponents of that growth, that's where we want to be. So
yes, it's truly amazing. And like you said, like Wilmac is in such a unique position that like we are an established company because of the history of our company. We're customer first. We've always found ways to solve problems that any of our customers ever brought us. But now we are pivoting to this more software, young talent, and this is a fun place to work that Rochester has a lot to offer. And if you GRE had a podcast with our CEO Steve, and one of his main points that he said when he picked or chose to stick with us in Rochester was because of the talent here. And I think that's an amazing thing. And any company that wants to be successful in the area that they're in, they're going to want to make relationships with their local community. And I think that's something we are doing a phenomenal job on, which our event last week highlighted that completely. We had organizations that were not only for-profit companies but non-profit, like the GRE and Chamber of Commerce. So it was really awesome to see them here. Do you have any final thoughts you want to leave for this episode? Obviously Emily will be on another episode. She'll probably be hosting a couple on her own. Any final thoughts you want to leave?
It was great. I mean, this is our 5th week in the new space. I mean, every week it just continues to get better because we get more established in here, we get more comfortable. So being able to see how a physical space encourages that collaboration and helps us live out our core values even further just makes my job as a marketer easier, especially.
Wait, you saying your job is getting easier?
No, it's not. Not at all. My days are difficult. Like everyone's, though. I mean, as a growing company, like that's what we have to expect. We have to take on the challenges head on, and I'm all for that. So really, the open house was incredible for anyone watching who attended. Thank you. If you want to come and check it out, please feel free. Hit Thomas or I up, and we can make sure to schedule a little tour for you. Beyond that, so hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to be that person. Thomas has put a ton of effort into developing the Wilmac Wire, and we're going to continue pushing some great content towards you. So thanks for tuning in.
No, and thank you, Emily, for joining me. And again, yes, thank you for everyone that attended. At the end of the video here, I will have Emily's contact information as well as my own. Feel free to contact either of us, whether it is just to hang out, come see the new office, or if you have any questions about what Wilmac has to offer. We are always here, and we're always just happy to chat. So thank you again. This is episode 4 of Wilmac Wire, and we look forward to seeing you again for episode 5.